Welcome, dear listeners. I'm Jonathan Carlin.
And I'm Benjamin Carlin.
And we invite you to join us through the Griffin door, your one-way ticket to the enchanting world of Harry Potter. So grab your wands and dust off your broomsticks and join us as we unlock the riddles inside Goblet of Fire, Chapter 15, Beauxbaton and Durmstrang, live in Orlando! It's going to be a good show.
Orlando makes some noise.
Orlando makes some noise.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Team Ravenclaw.
So Ravenclaws are not only smart, but also apparently quite loud.
Quite loud. Who knew? Who knew?
Yes.
Guess you guys, just so you know, that we will be recording this so that it will be uploaded to YouTube later on, so you will be able to watch it back if you want.
Yeah. So you guys are now officially part of the show's canon.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of cannons, do you think that there are any on the rigging of the Durmstrang?
Of the Durmstrang ship?
Yeah. Do we think so? Could there? Yeah.
You think they're just what do you think they're? Do you think they travel underwater the whole time? No? Yeah. Who says yes? Right.
Two of you. Okay.
Two of you. Who says no? No. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know what to think.
It's an unusual kind of. I mean, I literally this was the only major note that I had about this particular chapter art is just what is this magic? Is it portkey? Is it flu powder? Is it Well,
I think Crumb at one point says that he stayed in the cabin the whole time. We had to steer or whatever.
That's a good point.
Right? So it wasn't just portkey, because then what would you have to steer? Why would you appear underwater?
Unless Crumb is massively over asserting his role in the equation.
He's I had to steer the whole, and we're here, shit.
And we're here, and we're here. Look at that.
There.
Look at that. What I do think is going to be hilarious is the description of the Durmstrang ship arriving. Is what is not being said is the sound of a flushing toilet.
Yeah.
And I think some very determined words are being used to not compare the sound
to a toilet.
Right.
Okay.
Because we've just had some elephant-sized Palomino Abraxan arrive and all of a sudden here comes the ship trying to be epic.
Yeah.
And it's
trying to show off.
You sound a little bit like a flushing toilet.
Sounds a little bit like it. Ron hears it immediately. He knows. He's like, what's that? I know what that sound is. Yeah.
Wizards have plumbing.
Yeah. They do now. Boy, such an unnecessary article on Pottermore, if you ever seek it out, is they added plumbing, but before that, they used to just go on the ground and vanish it.
And vanish it away. It was
and it
was
why?
Worth adding all the infrastructure?
Right. I feel yes.
It must have been.
Must have been.
What's the spell that we're most likely using to vanish substance?
I don't know.
What is it?
Evanesco.
Evanesco? Okay.
See, but then it says, then the door knocker asks McGonagall, where do vanished objects go? And she says, into non-being, which is to say, everywhere.
Okay.
Which means that every time they're vanishing...
Dude, what if it all went to the room of requirement and you open up the door and it's boom! Woo!
We are off to a great start. Great start.
Orlando is you guys cannot come back.
Go ahead, yeah. All right, so we'll get to the ship arriving at some point here. I think the chapter art...
I'm sorry, did you say ship?
I said the ship arriving.
You really need to enunciate.
Really make sure we hit the there. Right there.
The all-important P?
Yeah, the all...
Did we hear the snort?
Drink.
Told you it was coming.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's just dive into the chapter.
I'm sorry,
For real now.
Yeah.
We'll rise above this potty humor. Yeah. All right.
Potter humor?
Potter humor? That's right. We're not getting anywhere.
I'm sorry. I'm done. I am completely done. I have nothing else.
Because you just went. Yeah. not one sentence in.
We're not.
Okay. All right. Our brother is here tonight. And he's like, this is what they do?
This works.
Okay. Chapter. For real. There he is. Yeah. He's waving. You might be able to see him. All right, so if we're coming off the last chapter, just as a reminder, Sirius has just written Harry a letter saying, like, your scar hurt? I'm coming back to the country. And Harry's like, whoa, I messed up. I shouldn't have said that. Nope, I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this.
Yeah, Harry's doing his classic Harry thing where he's like gaslighting himself into believing that he absolutely, definitely did not see into Voldemort's mind and witness a man be murdered. And
Right, Bertha Jorkins never heard of her.
Never heard of her.
Never heard
I mean, does anybody by chapter 15 even remember Bertha Jorkins at this point? We've forgotten her.
We've forgotten her, exactly.
Yes.
But so it says, early next morning, Harry woke with a plan fully formed in his mind, to which I was like, sorta. I mean, it's a pretty bad plan.
It's not a very elaborate plan.
Not a very elaborate plan.
As though his sleeping brain had been working on it all night.
You know, it's like, okay,
It's a 2-sentence plan.
It's a 2-sentence plan. Yeah. So he wakes up. He immediately heads downstairs to write Sirius a letter. This is what his brain took all night. His fully formed plan that he came up with says, Dear Sirius, I reckon I just imagined my scar hurting. I was half asleep when I wrote to you last time. There's no point coming back. Everything's fine. Don't worry about me. My head feels completely normal. Harry. And I was like, that took you all night? It's not even very convincing.
It's 2 sentences and they both say the same thing.
Yeah.
I reckon I just imagined my scar hurting. Don't worry about me. My head feels completely normal. That's the same sentiment.
Yeah. Yeah. Very redundant.
Also, I like that he used the word reckon.
Yeah, I reckon.
You know, we're kind of from the South a little bit. I mean, not compared to Florida here, but like, reckon.
Yeah, reckon.
Yeah. This is, it's not the South? No. My bad.
Wow.
I have stepped in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't say what, but it sounds like ship.
So,
are you hating me?
No, I'm good. Yeah. Keep it up, man.
Okay, I will.
All right, so that's Harry's just terrible letter. Even the word I reckon, I just imagine. I like when it says I reckon, I can feel Grammarly highlighting the sentences being like, you might want to sound more assertive here, Harry.
It's okay, because he's not going to, as we'll see later in the chapter, he's not going to convince Sirius at all.
Well, it's not surprising.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he climbs out of the portrait hole. There's a random mention of Peeves, who, he's just out already causing some chaos. It tries to overturn a large vase on him. She's like, wow, wouldn't that be a terrible way to wake up?
Yeah,
Someone drops a vase on you?
There is a nice feeling about being the first person up in the morning, even if you're just like driving to work and like the streets are empty and it's nice and calm. It's just you in the road, nice and wonderful. Same thing if you're like, out before everybody else is awake. But no, not for Harry. There's a poltergeist who wants to dump a vase on him.
Yeah. But he manages to dodge it, I guess. Finally arriving at the Owlery, to which I was like, wow, thank you, Harry, for being a patron of our show.
Yes.
It's really great. You get to go to the after show, see Gumpine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which would be the second snowy owl.
The second snowy owl, of which there's only one, a non-native bird.
A non-native bird, that's correct. Yeah, we'll get to that in just a minute.
Yep.
Situated atop the West Tower, which I'm setting myself up
why
for.
Would you? Don't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But somebody could ask us that trivia question. We would have
write it
4
down.
coordinates, unless you count like possibilities like northwest,
The Northwest
southeast tower. The West Tower,
Yeah.
good piece of trivia there, is where the Owlery is located. We get to learn a lot about the floor of the Owlery, which was entirely covered in straw, owl droppings, ship? No.
No ships. But some.
And the regurgitated skeletons of mice and voles,
Ah.
which I actually did highlight because this is a real thing that owls do. They're called owl pellets.
Oh, I know. I remember dissecting them in 7th grade.
I actually found it to be very interesting.
Oh, yeah,
That's a real thing. So
It does feel like the sort of thing that's like, they could clean this up with magic,
They could.
They don't.
But then how would Harry walk over to where Hedwig is nestled between a barn owl and a tawny, sliding a little on the dropping strewn floor.
Wow. Yeah.
A detail that we definitely needed.
We needed to know that Harry didn't make it over there safely.
Not safely, yeah. So he's already almost had a vase dropped on him, and then also he's just slipping and sliding through.
Slipping and sliding through the ship, yeah. We got Andy again. And then he has the nerve to be like pretty condescending to Hedwig, I have to say, who has been gone for 2 weeks delivering a letter to Sirius and then coming back to Harry. And he has to like coax her into it, threatens to use Pigwidgeon instead, finally gets her to come down. And he's like, just find him, all right. And I'm like, dude, your owl just spent 2 weeks doing that. Like, she can handle it.
Yes. This is no problem for Hedwig. Not to mention he was kind of rude to her last night.
Yeah,
when she arrived, he's like, I don't have anything for you. You need to go to the Owlery if you want food.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, geez, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Hedwig, having a hard day.
Yes.
But either way, she nipped his finger, perhaps rather harder than she would have ordinarily done, but she hooted softly in a reassuring sort of way. And I was kind of like, Hedwig's a good friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I can tell you're going through it right now.
Yeah. It's like you're clearly struggling with something, even though the letter that you're sending is going to suggest otherwise.
Pretty bad.
Not very convincingly.
Not a very convincing letter. He goes down and for some reason decides he's got to tell Ron and Hermione what he did. And Hermione's not happy. And she says, that was a lie, Harry. And I'm like, well, not a very good one, though. Nothing to worry about, Hermione.
Not to worry. It's not
to
going to work.
Harry's bad at poker.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
You didn't imagine your scar hurting, and you know it.
He's like, well, duh, I know it. And then Harry says, so what? He's not going back to Azkaban because of me, to which I just crossed out and wrote Peter. Because it's not your fault at all, Harry.
No, yes. But then Ron steps in here with a rare piece of picking up on like the emotional cues that I think Hermione is missing. He's just like, drop it. And for once, Hermione actually heeded him and fell silent.
Yeah.
That's the words of the book, not my words.
Yeah.
Just for clarity.
And then, so if you've been listening along with us, which I bet you have because you're here, you've known that this book has been going about 1 day per chapter.
Yes.
Until we get here. And then, like every single chapter was like just the next day in Harry's life. So we're at chapter 15. And then we have this one sentence. It says, Harry did his best not to worry about Sirius over the next couple of weeks.
Whoa now!
Whoa! Slow down!
Pump the brakes a little bit.
I know, come on. It's like, in what, 14 chapters, 2 weeks. One sentence, 2 more weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're flying
We're
now.
flying
Off
now.
to the
yeah.
races.
There we go.
I
I know. Yes. Yeah. A lot of those first few days at Hogwarts are important.
They are very important. But
Yeah.
that's the thing that I can never quite figure out is that it never seems like when Harry goes to class, he comes out unscathed. You
Right.
know? Something happens every time.
happens.
But for 2 weeks, seemingly nothing happened.
Seemingly nothing happened. Yeah.
Snape was just fine.
Yeah. It's I guess, potions was just good,
Yes.
No complaints at all. Let's see. He keeps worrying about Sirius, though. He wished he still had Quidditch to distract him. To which I'm like, you can still just go play, man.
That's true. The hedges aren't that big yet.
The hedges they're not even growing, though.
Right, yeah. So, you just go pop out there by yourself, throw some golf balls around.
Exactly.
I feel like at other points in time, they will just do this.
They'll just go do it.
Also, does this mean that if you're not on the house Quidditch team, that you're not allowed to just go, play a pickup game?
Right?
It
does seem like they could still find a way to play some Quidditch if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, lessons becoming more difficult and demanding, particularly Moody's defense against the dark arts ones, which I wrote down is surprising because it might seem like, well, why is he trying to teach them so hard how to do their stuff if, isn't he training Voldemort's enemies? But here's my actual theory about it, is that he's trying to train Harry to be good at defense against the dark arts so he'll get through the tasks.
Oh, okay. So that's a really fair point.
Right?
Harry, this is almost like the Lockhart situation, but in reverse and from Voldemort's perspective instead of Dumbledore's, where Lockhart is there to basically just teach Harry about the dangers of falling too in love with fame and that sort of thing. But this is more, Moody trying to be okay, for my plan to work, he needs to be satisfactory enough.
Because he has very little faith in Harry.
True.
You know, he doesn't think very much of him at all.
No. Even though he did. Well, I guess
He's about to.
He's about
go
to.
ahead. Yeah.
The other thought there as well was kind of the possibility that Moody is maybe even looking for potential new Death Eaters.
Yeah, possible.
Would be the other one. Like who's kind of got like a little bit of like dark arts flair.
Right
up their sleeve. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's why Voldemort wanted to come back to Hogwarts to teach this exact position to try and recruit people.
Yes.
And as far as Moody's concerned, people are about to... Voldemort's coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta get the people.
He also announces that he would be taking turns putting the Imperious curse on each of them, to which Hermione is sort of like, but didn't you say it was illegal?
Question. Yeah.
Hand up.
Hand up. And Moody's, I mean, he's ready. Barty Crouch is ready for her. He says, Dumbledore wants you taught what it feels like. If you'd rather learn the hard way when someone's putting it on you so they can control you completely, fine by me. You're excused. And I feel like he almost shows his hand here. Because I don't feel like the real Moody, I don't think it would be fine by him.
Like because what he's basically saying is like, you're excused, off you go.
Yeah.
But like the real Moody would be like constant vigilance.
Right.
Like, no, like you need to know.
Yes, right. Yeah, it's like, I'm not letting you leave. Or maybe he's just, he knows she's bluffing.
Right. Yes.
Which she does say in the very next sentence is like, she went peeking about or something about not meaning she wanted to leave, which is just like, Hermione, get out of your own way. Like, you're so determined to be right even when you don't want to be right.
Right.
Yeah.
I really want to do the illegal thing, but I need to bring it up first so that like the record shows.
Right. They have it written down?
I wasn't totally sure about
Exactly. Oh, man. And then the narrator here, it says, they knew Hermione would rather eat Beauxbaton pus than miss such an important lesson, which I'm like, you know what? We're not even in herbology.
Beauxbaton pus.
We can just stop saying Beauxbaton pus. Beauxbaton pus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Who thought we would say ship more than that in tonight's episode? Oh, man.
Anyway, so Moody begins putting all the students through their paces with the Imperious curse. I feel like he's just messing with them, too. Like, he wants you to know what it feels like, and he's like, I'm bored.
Yes. Yeah, so he has Dean Thomas hop 3 times around the room, trivia, singing the national anthem. Lavender Brown imitates a squirrel, which is more trivia.
That was hilarious.
Neville performed a series of quite astonishing gymnastics that he certainly would not have been capable of in his normal state.
Well, see, now that is interesting, because it's like, I don't feel like Neville has, like, the physical, like, capability of doing this at all.
Well, that's exactly what it says.
I know, that's what it says.
But, like, so that means that, like, does that mean that Barty Crouch Jr. has the ability to do it if he's allowed to, like, if he's able to funnel the information through Neville's mind?
I don't know. My problem is that, like, I don't doubt he can, like, convince him to try to do cartwheels, I just don't think Neville can do it. It's a matter of muscle ratio,
Yes, I understand.
He doesn't have the core strength.
Right, yes. Gymnastics is certainly something that requires a little bit of finesse.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. But maybe it was for Barty Crouch Jr. And what I'm learning is that Hogwarts definitely has a gymnastics team.
I mean, it's like maybe Neville could have been a gymnast.
Yes.
Also,
Or that. Actually, the darker version of this, though, is that if the Imperious Curse allows you to do things that you are not typically capable of doing, and you apply that to the dark arts, then you could almost create an army rather quickly.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because then you could just be like, I need you to go into battle and cast the Cruciatus Curse upon us.
Yeah.
And it's like, not everybody can do that, but
Yeah.
if you put them under the Imperious Curse, then maybe they can.
You think that's what they're doing in Severance? Or? Yes.
Are we switching gears?
Yeah, we're switching gears. Yeah. Is watching Severance anyone? No? Yes, cool. Right, cool. They're making an army of clones, right? Yeah. Anyway.
Severance theory.
Severance theories, right? Let's go.
Potter, Moody growled, "You're next." This kind of just gave me a quick little flashback to Lupin's class where he doesn't let Harry do the Boggart lesson.
Oh, yeah, it is the opposite.
Yes, where everybody else has kind of gone through, done their thing, and then it's like Potter, and like everybody sort of like looks at him, and he's like, "Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
It's go time. Big
Yeah.
main character energy about to come out."
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm about to ridiculous that thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so he moves to the middle of the classroom. Imperio was cast upon him, and it says that it was the most wonderful feeling. Harry felt a floating sensation as though every thought and worry in his head was gently wiped away, leaving nothing but a vague, untraceable happiness. And this is actually something that I highlighted back when we were inside of the Triwizard Cup, the Quidditch World Cup, rather, because it is the almost exact same description we get of the Vila.
The Vila. Yeah, you're right.
And so there's a piece of me, and we talked about this a little bit in the chapter 14 episode. Like, what if there's a possibility that the Elder Wand is the first wand to have ever cast the Avada Kedavra curse? And that would sort of make it attached to Antioch.
Right.
And then I was sort of thinking,
do like each brother had like a curse?
The Cruciatus curse doesn't really work,
Okay.
but I was thinking that the Resurrection Stone also feels like he's trying to bring back his like lost fiance. And so if he invented the Imperious curse and what he was attempting to create was a spell that wipes all the worries from your mind, like takes all that trauma and despair,
right?
But there's sort of like a dark nature to that sensation.
Okay.
It's very similar to what the Resurrection Stone does. It brings her back, but as though through a veil.
Right.
And it's like that ends up tormenting him more than anything else. Does that make sense? Do you follow the logic?
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it in real time.
I know,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. And then I'm like, so then Ignotus made the Cruciatus curse, is what you're saying?
This is how he defeated Death, Jay.
This is how we defeated death.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. He's just like
Ignotus is
everyone's
like,
like,
sweet, you can't see me, and
Yeah.
I can hurt you.
yeah, right. And they leave that out of the tale.
Yeah,
Makes
exactly.
it seem a lot
yes.
worse. Yeah.
It does just a little bit, yes. Yeah. So that probably is not exactly how that panned out.
Yeah, but then he tries to start making Harry jump onto the desk, I guess for more gymnastics. But then it says, "Why?" thought another voice. And so actually, going back to like it was the most wonderful feeling thing. As I was reading that, it actually reminded me a ton of. This is going to be a random comparison, but in the first Avenger movies, when like Loki is like giving his speech.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I wrote it down. This is what he says. He says, "This is the unspoken truth of humanity: is that you crave subjugation. The bright, you guys know it. The bright lure of freedom diminishes your life's joy in a mad scramble for power." Which to me is like that. Like Loki's mantra, like his belief, is like the Imperius curse. Is
Yes.
that like it like makes you feel like if you just listen to me, your life will be easy and carefree, and that's actually what you want.
Right.
But then Harry is fighting back, and it's like, no, that's stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think so, buddy. And then he throws a shield at him. Yeah. Yeah.
Classic Harry.
Classic Harry. Right? Oh man.
No, the why though, another voice had awoken in the back of his brain. This is a question that historically I know that probably even we ourselves have speculated on. Is it possible it's Voldemort inside of him basically kind of giving him like the parcel tongue grade power almost, where it's like this is almost where like Harry is benefiting from having the Horcrux inside of him. And we actually stumbled across a particular line going back to the last chapter that is specifically talking about how to overcome the Imperius curse, and the exact words that we get is that it takes real strength of character.
Yes.
And this is actually, I think, super fascinating because Barty Crouch Jr. himself is very powerful. Like, that's super evident from Goblet of Fire. And yet, it took him 13 years to break out of the Imperius curse placed upon him by his father. Harry, who is going to be under the Imperius curse by Barty Crouch Jr., can break it no problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not no problems, but within 4 attempts.
Within 4 attempts, he just immediately breaks it. And you're right, because like Barty Crouch can't break it because he has terrible character.
Right.
Not a good guy.
He's not a good guy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's the specific phrasing is strength of character and not strength of will.
Not
which
strength of will.
I think are two very, very different characteristics when it comes to how we interpret how you overcome the Imperius.
Well, absolutely. And I mean, Harry's character is on display with how he even resists it. He says, "No, I don't think I will, thanks."
Yes!
So polite. No. Such character.
But, dude, I wrote that down, too, because I was like, okay, so politeness may equal strength of character, and Dumbledore, that's like his whole thing. He's unfailingly...
Unfailingly polite.
Yes.
Yes.
Like
it would have been meta manners to drink it.
Yes, yes. That's when he's got the oak matured mead.
Yeah, like knocking
bonking
into the Dursleys' heads.
Yes.
Yeah. He's just having the time of his life.
But he's being polite about it.
But he's being polite about it, yeah.
Yes.
They're being rude.
Yes, yes. So anyway, Dumbledore can probably also resist the Imperius curse.
Well, I don't have any trouble believing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, after all, the small fortune-telling deer thing did bow to him in Secrets of Dumbledore.
So there's that. The chillin'.
The chillin'.
The chillin', the dragon deer thing. Yeah.
Spelled Qiln.
I-N.
What did I say?
Qiln.
Qiln?
Qilin, right?
Something
The chillin'.
Yeah, the
That's
chillin'.
exactly how I would try and pronounce it.
The point is, it starts with Q.
It does. Not Q-U.
Yeah.
Q-I.
QI.
Man, that's how magic people spell. Anyway, Harry, despite actually breaking free of it, seems like he comes off worse than anyone else in the class because he runs into the desk and it feels like he fractured both his kneecaps, which I'm like, oh my god.
Terrible pain.
I know, right? Pretty bad.
Yeah. To which Moody is like, now that's more like it.
Yeah, do you think that's what he's going for? And he's like, yes, hurt one of them. Now that's more like it. I got him.
Point me. Can you imagine what this looks like to the rest of the kids in the class, though? Like, they don't know the command
Oh, I know.
going through his head. So what they witnessed was Harry just jump at a desk.
Yeah. Boom.
And Moody be like, good one.
Exactly what I wanted you to do. Oh, man. But I do love what he starts saying to him. He says, look at that, you lot. Potter fought. Which I was just like, ooh, just you wait, dude. Just you wait. But then I like the way he ends the way he ends this sentence is like, I feel like it's confusing when you know the truth. He says, like, you know, watch his eyes, that's where you see it. Very good, Potter, very good indeed. They'll have trouble controlling you. Which is like, it almost seems like he's like broken character a little bit. Not broken character. He's like being too believable. Almost everything he says is like a double meaning.
I literally crossed it out and wrote will. We will have trouble controlling you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, but here's what, okay, so, because I highlighted specifically the word they. They will have trouble controlling you, like them, like many others. But which one is the truest thing he says in the entire book? They absolutely will have trouble controlling him.
Sure.
But here's what I think he's saying when he says they, is I think he means the Death Eaters, not Voldemort. Like, I think he has, like, unblinding faith in Voldemort, obviously.
True.
But we know he hates pretty much all the other Death Eaters.
Also true.
Right, so I think he's like, yeah, you're going to give them trouble, and then they'll get punished, and that'll be great. Voldemort, not going to be a problem. Obviously, he'll just take care of you, because he's the best, pretty much my bestie.
Yeah, he's like a foam finger that's like, the Dark Lord!
He's like, Dark Lord, let's go! Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But sadly for him, in this particular regard, he's completely wrong because Voldemort's going to use
Oh, yeah.
the Imperious curse on Harry, and Harry's going to be like, nah, dude.
Nah, I don't think I will. I don't think I will,
I don't think I will.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah. No thanks. Yeah, 4 times later, he throws off the curse entirely, which is insane progress.
Yes.
But then they're talking about it afterwards. He says, you'd think we were all going to be attacked any second, to which I had, and I was like, you just were. Dude.
By like a bad guy.
By like a bad guy, yeah. Yeah, talk about paranoid. Ugh, Ron glanced, yeah.
I know, yeah. Moody assured him the effects would wear off by lunch. Talk about paranoid. Ron glanced nervously over his shoulder to check that Moody was definitely out of earshot.
Yeah.
It's like, talk about paranoid.
Yeah, come on, Ron. Yeah, who's paranoid now? And then they weirdly start, because in the first class they're all like, oh my god, best class ever, he told us about the unforgivable curse, it's so cool. And now, like 3 classes later, he's like, when are we supposed to read up on resisting the Imperius curse with everything else we've got to do? Like, it almost seems like that's the kind of thing they'd want to be doing, right? They'd favor this kind of assignment.
Also, if class 1 was, here are the 3 curses, 2 weeks later, I'm
Yeah.
putting the curse on you, why do you not think the assignment, reading up on how to resist the Imperius curse, hasn't happened between...
It does seem like that should have been the second week.
Yes.
Read up on it, because next class, guess what?
Right.
I got a surprise.
I'm no teacher, but I think that's a lesson plan for you.
Well, he's no teacher either, really. So,
That's a good
you
point.
know. Then we get the sentence that happens in every book where it says all the 4th years had noticed a definite increase in the amount of work they required to do this term. Like, they're always shocked by it, too. They're like, you can believe the work is harder? I don't get it.
Another year older, another year harder.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Ugh. Although maybe, I don't know. I try to not tell my kids that 'cause they already don't like it. Yeah.
You know what I always felt like was
Yeah.
all my teachers were like, when you get to second grade, they're not going to tolerate this kind of nonsense.
Not this nonsense.
And then when I got to second grade, they're like, third grade.
Yeah.
In third grade, they're
Third
not going
grade.
to tolerate this kind
When
of
you
nonsense.
get to high school, you will have to write papers in cursive.
And then senior year, they're like, who forgot to put their name on the test?
Yeah.
And I'm like, in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well-
they don't care.
We'll sort it out.
I've got tenure. Whatever.
It's better for me if you pass my classes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we do get a little nudge that the ordinary wizarding levels
Yeah.
are drawing closer.
Just good setup for Order of the Phoenix.
Yes.
Yep.
And Dean Thomas is like, we don't take them until next year. And then McGonagall totally throws shade on Dean and is like,
Oh my
Miss
gosh.
Granger remains the only person in this class who has managed to turn a hedgehog into a satisfactory pincushion.
Could have ended there.
Could have ended there.
Doesn't.
I might remind you that your pincushion, Thomas, still curls up in fright if anyone approaches it with a pin.
McGonagall is on a warpath in this chapter.
She truly is.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, only Hermione has done it. Don't
Right.
go after Dean.
I know, right? You could just you didn't have to add that on there.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But she did.
But she did. Then they get to divination, complete opposite, where the Professor Trelawney has top marks. You guys nailed it. You guys are so dead.
She read out loud large portions of their predictions, commending them for their unflinching acceptance of the horrors in store for them.
Yes. That said, it's like you are reading it as if oh man, they made it up and got away with it. But with hindsight, you kind of know that they're kind of right.
Yes.
So maybe she's reading and she's like, oh my god, they're so right.
They know things
They got it.
you're in danger of burns. Dragons coming.
Dragons are coming.
Losing
Yeah.
a treasured possession. Ron, you're going to be in a lake.
Friend's gonna stab you in the back. Moody.
Yeah, exactly. These are all the things. And then, meantime, Professor Binns is really switching things up for History of Magic. Had them writing weekly essays on, wait for it, the Goblet Rebellions.
of the 18th
Yeah.
century. Yeah.
And so, as ever, what happens next is Florian Fortescue comes screaming out of the bushes
yeah, he is like
with a
"What?
tall ice cream cone.
Harry,
My boy!
my boy.
Free ice cream!
Professor, let me tell you about them Goblin Rebellions, Harry. I want to back up to Trelawney, too, because it says they're less amused when she asks them to do the same thing for the month after next. Both of them are running out of ideas for catastrophes. So I was like, man, sorry, you guys. Can you imagine Ben having to come up with, Harry Potter theories for months on end, Tough stuff.
I thought we were going to run out 8 years ago.
I know. But
Then-
we haven't. And then this is, okay.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, Professor Snape's forcing them to research antidotes, to which that's crazy to me because in year 6, when Harry is taking potions, Slughorn's like, let's talk about antidotes. And they're like, what? Never heard of them.
Never heard of
Never heard of them.
NEWT class over here.
Yeah, come on.
Meanwhile, Snape is like, listen, I taught you in 4th year, and on the
year.
first day of class, I was like, do you guys know what a Bezoar is?
Yeah.
And anyway,
Anyway.
they don't.
Yeah.
Also, the phrasing of forcing them to research antidotes, it's sort of like, this just feels like standard work.
Right.
That would be like an English teacher forcing you to learn grammar.
I know. It's like, can you believe Snape, the potions teacher, mind you, is forcing us to learn about antidotes?
Ugh.
Yeah.
The nerve.
The nerve.
The gall. Yes.
Yeah. The gall. How dare he? Let's see. Next up we have... this surprises me too, though. Professor Flitwick had asked them to read 3 extra books. 3 books in preparation for their lesson on summoning charms. A charm that Mad-Eye Barty Crouch Jr. Moody is going to tell Harry, nice and simple. Nice and simple.
No big deal.
Keep it easy.
Just a simple
3-book-long summoning charm.
Right. It really feels like the kind of charm, like Accio.
Yeah.
It's like the first...
Accio.
Accio?
All right, everyone say it at once. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
All right, we got it right.
I thought we got an Accio.
I feel like we got it.
An Accio crowd. Oh, man. What would happen if me and Jay just came flying
You're
at
flying
you?
at you guys.
That's on y'all.
That's on you.
Rather,
You knew what was going to happen.
Anyway, that one is going to come up later. But
It's going to come up. It's just setting up, the first task here.
You know what I think makes more sense, though, is instead of teaching first years how to unlock literally anything, teach them summoning charms then and save the Aloha Mora for now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. It does seem like summoning charm. That should be like the first thing. Like, bring that here.
Make thing come to me.
Make
Yeah.
thing come to me.
Yeah.
I guess it's more complicated than we think.
Right. Then even Hagrid was adding to their workload. Unexpected. The blast-ended Scroots were growing at a remarkable pace, given that nobody had yet discovered what they ate.
How is that working?
It sort of goes against everything we know about living creatures.
It does.
Yes.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. So do they.
So do they.
Yeah.
They're weird. They're weird creatures that shouldn't exist. So
Right.
anyway, there's that. But it says I highlighted as he said that Hagrid suggested they come down to his hut on alternate evenings to observe the Scroots and make notes on their extraordinary behavior. Malfoy is like, absolutely not. I don't think so. He's totally right. And Hagrid is like, what's that? You'll do what you're told. Or I'll be taking it. It's like, so he went from like suggesting it to making it mandatory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then he threatens him. Or I'll be taking a leaf out of Professor Moody's book. I hear you make a good ferret, Malfoy.
And I'm like, Hagrid, this guy has tried to get you fired for an entire year, man.
Yes.
Like, why? What are you doing? That you can't say that to students.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even McGonagall was like, Moody, you can't do that to students.
Can't do that. Might have mentioned it.
Surely Dumbledore told you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it does remind us. Malfoy had done his very best to get Hagrid sacked the previous year, to which I just said, yeah, and almost nothing else.
That's what I wrote too, and that's about all he did.
That's about all he did. Yes, indeed.
What do we have Malfoy do for a whole year? Complain about something that literally everybody would understand isn't a problem.
Right. Ugh. Anyway.
Yeah.
So they get back to school, and there is the most well-read bulletin board of all time.
Yes.
That announces that the delegates from Beauxbaton and Durmstrang will be arriving the next day, Friday the 30th of October, and they're going to have a welcome feast for everybody. But then just the very next day is when the goblet is going to shoot out the names, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have the Halloween feast.
Right.
Double feast.
Double feast.
Yes.
And then just a mere 24 days after that,
Yeah.
the four names that come out have to fight a dragon.
Yeah.
So, tons of time to prepare.
Tons of time.
Crumb is like, I just got here. My name came out of the cup. Now I got to fight a dragon.
Yes. You signed up for this, man.
It's true.
Yep.
You know, they do travel via toilets into the ministry. I'm just saying.
How big is the toilet at Durmstrang, man?
That place is a total shithole.
We're gonna kill Andy, you guys. It's going down. Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. Anyway, then we get Ernie McMillan, who shows up basically
That
for
old
the
DA
first time in
lag.
like 9,000 pages. I wonder if Cedric knows. Think I'll go and tell him.
Wow.
It's like, let's just go ahead and remind you who Cedric is, in case any of you guys have forgotten. To which Ron responds, that idiot, Hogwarts champion. It's like,
Yep.
why does Ron hate Cedric all
I know.
of a
Like,
sudden?
what do you have against? And you guys go to the World Cup together?
Right, you're practically besties. Well, I guess that's fair, because I think that his response is, you only like him because he's handsome, said Ron scathingly.
Yeah. Although I gotta say, Hermione like standing up for Cedric here, I feel like I don't understand her tact very much. Unless Ron is just totally right about him being handsome. Because she says, he's not an idiot. You just don't like him because he's a big Gryffindor at Quidditch. And I'm like, Hermione, there were Dementors. He did not beat Harry. You know.
Are you on?
I know. I heard he's a really good student, and he's a prefect. You know what? I think Ron is right. I think it's the handsomeness. I love when he's like, yeah, sure, Lockhart. Yeah. Yeah. Whose side are you on, Hermione? Like, you were there. We know it's not fair.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It
Anyway.
was your other best friend who lost.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They almost killed Harry.
Right.
But sure, Cedric won. Yeah. So they start cleaning the castle. Harry noticed the castle seemed to be undergoing an extra thorough cleaning, which I'm just like, extra thorough. You guys can do magic. Do you just prefer it being dirty? Like, I don't. It seems like they do.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
That or it really is just to torment Filch, who I guess is doing it all by hand.
All by hand.
Despite the fact that we are getting so many reminders of the fact that there are house elves working here, so...
Yeah. Oh, no, this is... well, here's the more proof. It says, several grimy portraits had been scrubbed, much to the displeasure of their subjects. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean to the displeasure? Did you prefer to the filth?
They must have.
They must have.
They're not happy about their raw pink faces.
I know.
Which also seems like it's altering the art, as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
you know?
yes, but maybe the filth was altering the art. This is restoring the art.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Does art just change in wizarddom?
I don't know. I guess it can sort of learn stuff.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So, like, the original painter could be like, I am depicting this unblemished fellow, and then he becomes blemished, and then unblemished again.
Right.
He's really having an arc.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the fat lady's selling like new passwords and stuff.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Now McGonagall continues her warpath as she's concerned about her students embarrassing her, which is not great at sowing confidence, I don't think. It says, Longbottom, kindly do not reveal that you cannot perform a simple switching spell in front of anyone from Durmstrang. I'm like, McGonagall?
I know.
Come on!
Real strength of character. It says, kindly do
Yes.
not reveal that you can't even perform
Yes.
a simple switching spell in front of
Right,
anyone.
right, yes.
I mean, if she had forgotten the kindly, this would have
Right.
been really rude.
Right, Longbottom, do not reveal. Kindly don't do it.
Right.
Yes.
Imperious curse, no trouble for McGonagall.
No problem. Yeah, she's throwing it right off there. Neville's not having a great day either. Not only is McGonagall dunking on him, but Neville has also accidentally transplanted his ears onto a cactus. Normal problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he was like? Do you think he could hear? Still
Hear what the cactus is
hear what the
hearing?
cactus hears? Yeah.
Maybe this is why he's so good at herbology.
Yeah. He's like, I know what I've heard the plants.
I
talk to plants.
I hear through their ears.
Right, yeah. Well, so Harry's a parcel mouth. He's like a plant mouth,
I like it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you can do it.
Okay, then we get a reminder of all the various colors for the Hogwarts houses, and it says
Yes,
red
yeah.
with a gold lion for Gryffindor, blue with a bronze
Eagle.
for Ravenclaw,
Ravenclaw.
yellow with a black badge of Hufflepuff, and green with a silver serpent for Slytherin. Behind the teacher's table, the largest banner of all bore the Hogwarts crest of arms, lion, eagle, badger, and snake united around a large letter H. Okay, why do both of us think the color of Hogwarts is purple?
Yeah, I don't.
Do any of you guys think this?
Yeah, no, yes.
It's a mix. Okay,
Okay,
I'm gonna
it's
say
at least
raise your
mixed.
hand for no. Oh, wow.
Wow. Okay.
Raise your hand for yes.
All right.
Well,
so
no.
you can see the problem.
Yeah. Odd. It just. Oh yeah.
I feel like as Dumbledore wears purple a lot.
The original Hogwarts seal, when you read Philosopher's Stone, is purple. The seal is purple, the writing is green. It's
Okay.
not red. And even the sleeping bags that he pulls out are all purple.
Oh, purple. Yeah. Why
Yeah.
would they? Why would
Why,
they have
I mean, they obviously are buying sleeping bags in school colors.
school colors? Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right. I imagine them down at like REI being like, Snape, which one should we get? Yeah. Yeah, green.
Yeah. Green headmaster.
You don't bring Snape to buy camping equipment.
I know, right? So then we get a reminder from Fred and George or we get more clues about what they're doing. It says, but if you want to talk to us in person, we'll have to send the letter after all, or we'll stuff it into his hand. He can't avoid us forever, which they're talking about Ludo Bagman here, which I don't like. He can't avoid us forever. I mean, as far as you don't even know he's going to be at the tournament yet. Like how I think he's going to be pretty good at avoiding you, as far
most
as you know.
certainly can.
Yeah.
It also sounds like whatever they're doing is like a magical version of like serving papers. Like,
Yeah.
we'll stuff it in his hand.
We'll just do it.
And it's like, and then what will he do with it?
I know, right?
It's
like,
like-
ha! Now you've read the letter, so you have to.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's like, guys, he's definitely read the letters.
You're right.
That's not the problem.
That's not the issue.
The issue is he's not paying you.
At least it didn't spill.
So in the past chapter though, like Fred and George are being remarkably nice to Ron. I feel like they're like, "What do you say, Ron? If we can figure it out, do you want to join?" I feel like they were kind of like all on the same page, but now you can tell that Ludo Bagman is really bumming them out, and they're back to like taking it out on Ron. He's like, "Who's avoiding you?" It's like, "Wish you would." Said, "What's a bummer? Having a nosy git like you for a brother." Like, oh, come on, guys. Just, Oh yeah,
No, it was to Tyler.
yeah,
Thanks for coming.
yeah.
We had him
boy.
here just for this joke. It was an
that
elaborate
was it.
setup
We've been
that we
setting
knew.
it up.
Yeah.
Yes. And then here comes McGonagall returns to the warpath here. It says, thought any more about trying to enter. It says, George says, I asked McGonagall how the champions are chosen, but she wasn't telling. She told me to shut up and get on with transfiguring my raccoon. Like, McGonagall? What is... She's having a week.
Okay,
A
I
raccoonian, yes, yeah.
A raccoonian.
Yeah.
I think that her politeness may have been lost on that one, unless it's George's retelling.
Yeah.
Is leaving out like a
I feel like George wouldn't do that. He would say things verbatim.
verbatim.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shut up, if you please,
Shut up if you please,
Yeah.
Mr. Weasley.
Mr. Weasley.
Get on with transfiguring that raccoon.
Then Ron is sort of like, wonder what the tasks are going to be. You know, I bet we could do them, Harry. We've done dangerous stuff before.
Yeah.
To which
That's
he
kind of
means-
true. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's played chess before.
Yeah, not me.
Not Hermione.
You!
Nailed it.
So glad you guys are all on that page.
It's really fun when you're in a room full of people and every single person here
Yeah.
gets the joke.
Everyone gets it. Yeah.
When we tried to do that at the Thanksgiving dinner table, not everyone got it.
Yeah, everyone got it. Yeah.
What's up with that? Yeah.
You know. You see what I mean? So they say, we've done dangerous stuff before, which totally true. I mean, they did get through Ron and Harry both got through a bunch of the tasks in year one.
True.
They both faced down the giant spiders. They at least found the Chamber of Secrets, although Ron didn't do much of the basilisk killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did move some rocks.
He
though,
did
so-
move some rocks, yes. And he bravely broke his wand, which Lockhart backfired into himself. Yes. Harry did defeat 100 Dementors, so his resume is a little more stacked.
Yes. And
Yeah.
stabbed a basilisk in the brain.
Right, sure
Yeah,
did
yeah.
that too.
That was a
Yes.
pretty big one.
Yeah, Ron dropped a rat, It was a big one.
It was a big one.
Big one.
Kind of plot central, that one.
Plot central. Yeah.
Let's see here. Then we get a bit of interesting about the past Triwizard tournaments, trying to determine who the judges are going to be. Hermione chimes in out of nowhere. Well, the heads of the participating schools are always on the panel because all three of them were injured during the tournament of 1792 when a cockatrice the champions were supposed to be catching. Cockatrice?
Cockatrice.
Cockatrice?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They were supposed to be catching went on the rampage.
This is bad logic on Hermione's part.
Like,
right? Because she says, who are the judges? The heads of the participating schools are always on the panel because all three of them were injured in 1792. It's
Yeah.
like, the fact that all three of them were on in 1792 and were injured is not proof that today all three of them will be judges.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. If anything, it seems like that was an occasion that may have marked this plan not going well.
Yeah.
But she read about that in Hogwarts
Yeah.
history.
Right, yes. Or, what's crazy about this, though, is that, when we see the dragons, Hagrid is showing Madame Maxime the dragons, and Karkaroff is sneaking up to see the dragons.
Right.
Right? And it's like, oh, now everyone's going to know what they are. But it's like, that means that, three of the judges don't even know what the task is. You know?
That's true.
They planned the entire thing, and they're like, okay, so we pretty much know everything. You three, if you could go stand in the other room, we're going to talk about the first task a little bit.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
even-
actually, we can't tell you the second task because the thing you get from the first task will tell you how to do it, and they have to figure it out on their own, so you can't know that either.
And yet Moody has already given Neville the magical water plants of the Mediterranean.
Right.
So Moody knows.
Moody
and,
knows.
And Karkaroff and Madame Maxime do not.
But, Hagrid will know. It's like, everyone on staff except Dumbledore is supposed to know. And they're just like, hey, look, you don't need to know. Just show up at the lake. You won't be able to see anything, but please judge them for what they did.
It's a spectator sport.
It's a spectator sport, the Triwizard Tournament. Yeah. So I don't know how they're passing out scores. I guess that's why Dumbledore's like, I have nothing to go on. I'm just gonna go yell at some mer people. I can speak mer people. They said moral fiber. That's good enough for me.
Good enough for me.
Good enough for me.
Extra points.
Extra point. I think Harry's in the lead.
They're all like, Dumbledore, how come
Dumbledore.
whenever it comes to points, Harry wins?
He's like, no, it's not. I don't do that. Where's Neville? Can we give him 5 points for something? I am not favoring Harry. Ridiculous. Wouldn't do that. Oh, man. But then, yeah, so Hermione returns to her rampage about house elves or Hogwarts of history, her favorite book, which now she is like, oh, how dare they? How dare they not mention the house elves? Which is surprising, honestly, that it doesn't.
It absolutely is, because I think notably Hogwarts staffs the most number.
Yeah.
Which would certainly merit an inclusion in 1,000 pages.
1,000 pages. She has read this, like, it sounds like she's reread it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a cover-to-cover type
Cover to
thing.
cover. She's like, hold on. Did I miss this in Hogwarts of history? I got to go check.
Although, are you suggesting that rereading something approximately 1,000 pages over and over and over again is ridiculous? Because
If it was a history book about my school, I might. Let me tell you, I haven't read Virginia Tech a history.
And we also haven't made it on the Cave Spring High School Wikipedia page.
Someday, Ben.
Someday.
Notable alumni.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys want to work on that.
Yeah.
I know you tried. Thank you. Yeah. But they don't mention it, which is surprising. I think she does have a point here that it's not mentioned. But it doesn't sound like her campaigning for SPEW or SPEW is going much better. She's just been badgering Harry and Ron to wear the badges around, which they're not doing. And then it's just cornering people and being like, hey, want to join my group? House elves!
It's a good way to make friends.
It's a good way to make friends, yes.
Yeah,
Popular
yeah.
girl.
I feel like she learns a lot from this when it comes to Dumbledore's army.
Yeah.
She gets her recruitment numbers are way higher.
They're way higher.
Way up,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's like, not only, you know what I didn't do for SPEW? I didn't magically bind people to help.
Yes.
You know what? When you sign up, you must come to the meetings. And if you don't, things happen to your face.
Real bad.
Yeah.
Irreversible.
Irreversible things. I will write spew on your face. I will do it.
No matter how much boober tuber pus you use.
No matter how much. You are going to, it's going to happen. Then we find out that Neville had paid just to stop Hermione from glowering at him. Neville's not having a good chapter. He lost his ears. He can't,
McGonagall's giving him a hard way to go about his switching
vanishing
spells.
Yeah, his switching spells. Yeah, poor. Yeah. Moody's making him do things he cannot do.
Although his kneecaps, as far as we know, came out unscathed.
I know.
Yeah.
I'd be more concerned about my kneecaps being destroyed from trying to do like gymnastics than running into a table.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I occasionally worry that if I just simply jump too high, I will hurt my kneecaps. So.
Is that a challenge?
You want to do a jumping challenge right now?
I mean, if you think you can jump high, you can go. Okay.
You got this. Get a Bowflex.
Imperious.
All right, you ready?
Imperious.
3, 2.
That was a Ben winner.
Oh man. Oh, you got a photo this time. Okay.
Yay! What is it? Oh, a tiny jump. Oh, we can do a tiny jump.
We're going back. We're going back in.
Who knew? Jumping contest. Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's overlapping Venn diagrams
Right.
of people's interests, right?
I don't even have to ask you if you watched the high jump at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because I know you did.
I lost my place.
Yeah, what are we talking about here? Neville lost his ears, right. So George tries to tell Hermione, he's like, listen, have you ever been out of the kitchens, Hermione? Because we have, and we've met them, and they're happy. To which Hermione is not having, so that's because they're uneducated and brainwashed. And which, again, Hermione is right.
Yes.
But for the second time in 2 chapters, a bunch of owls are going to come in and interrupt Hermione's SPEW rant.
I cannot believe I had the exact same thing marked down because I was like, last chapter this happened, this chapter this happened.
Do you think this is like a Hogwarts defense? It's like, hey, owls, go! Stop it! Someone's onto us! Hedwig, the last time Hedwig showed up in the middle of the night, it's not even mail time.
It's not even mail
Not
time.
even mail time. Like the Owlery was like, wait a second. Someone's talking about the house elves.
Somebody
Hedwig, go!
the West Tower.
Do you have a note or something?
I think that's what happens.
That's what happens.
So
Yeah.
Hedwig returns, holds out her leg wearily. Harry pulled off Sirius's ply and offered Hedwig his bacon rinds. I think that this is something that, yes, is adorable. It is.
Yes.
However, I do believe that snowy owls are vegetarians. Sadly.
What a good pet owner.
I know.
She's not contributing to the mice and voles.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
A different kind of slipperiness
A different, yeah, right? Yes.
on the Owlery floor.
On the Owlery floor.
Anyway, so Harry's amazingly and well-crafted letter that took him an entire night's worth of consideration. Sirius is like, nice try, Harry.
Yeah, he says, nice try, Harry. I said, that's generous.
It wasn't his best try.
Wasn't a nice try, yeah. Would have let him down easy.
I'm back in the country and well hidden. I want you to keep me posted on everything that's going on at Hogwarts. Don't use Hedwig. Keep changing owls and don't worry about me. Just watch out for yourself. Don't forget what I said about your scar. Sirius.
Boom. Yeah, don't, keep changing owls, but I will keep signing it with my real name. So it won't really matter.
That's a good point.
Right? Yeah. I'm surprised it doesn't say Sirius. Snuffles.
Sirius Black, crossed out.
Crossed out, yeah. In case you didn't know, you could probably figure it out because I crossed out my real name.
But then, that's the concern, is that he's like, oh, but if I put Snuffles, Harry's not going to know who it is.
Yeah. I'll never forget it.
He spent a whole night thinking of that really bad.
A really bad letter. Yeah. Ron is slow on the uptake here. Why do you have to keep changing owls? And Hermione's like, Hedwig will attract too much attention. And I'm like, man, you would have to be the world's most attentive ornithologist to be like, you see that white owl? It keeps going to the same cave. Not from around here. What?
I got you. Excellent code.
I missed it.
Messages.
Oh. We'll see.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be allowed live.
I'm on you guys' side, don't worry. Yeah.
Fighting the good fight. Anyway, then Hedwig drinks some orange juice and is off, desperate for a good long sleep in the Owlery, which did kind of make me wonder, like, you know how when Harry has Creature tailing Draco once upon a time,
Yeah.
and he fails to mention that Creature's allowed to sleep?
Yes.
And Creature and Dobby are like, we hasn't slept for 2 weeks!
Yes.
When we go back to the original instructions from Harry, he's just basically like, find him, okay? And maybe Hedwig was sort of like, and don't sleep along the way.
Got it.
Heard.
Yeah. Well, she basically got back, had like a few hours sleep. Harry got up early, dodged a vase, slipped on some ship, and then was like, get back out there. Oh, man. Poor Hedwig.
I know.
Now he's making her eat bacon, which she doesn't even eat. Yeah, like,
I know.
Poor Hedwig. Anyway, getting back, so Beauxbaton and Durmstrang are about to get here. McGonagall still losing it, still just yapping at everybody. They're waiting in line. She says, Weasley, straighten your hair. And Miss Patil, take that ridiculous thing out of your hair, which is a large ornamental butterfly. And it's like, McGonagall, chill. Like,
Was the ornamental butterfly really hurting anyone?
was it hurting anyone? I know. Come on.
I don't think so.
I know. What's funny to me is that like the other schools are like, we're about to show off, and Parvati's like, I want to dress nice, and McGonagall's like, how dare you? How dare you? Those Durmstrang people are arriving in a toilet. The least you can do is not wear a butterfly.
A sentence that makes sense to everyone here.
And no one else.
They're arriving in a toilet.
Yeah.
The least you could do is not wear a butterfly.
Exactly. And then Hermione is just like she's on her own warpath to just like make Ron feel stupid here. Ron's like, how do you think they're getting here? The train? And she's like, I doubt it. But it seems like a perfectly reasonable guess, if you ask me.
How do we get here?
Yeah, then Harry's like, well, I don't know, broomsticks maybe? And she's like, I don't think so. And Ron's like, port key? She's like, are you kidding? You can't apparate. Like, that's not what I said.
Oh man, yeah, Hermione. It's like maybe you could just
Maybe you could just help. Maybe you could just. What's your guess? Instead of saying no to all of ours.
Is your guess giant flying carriage and toilet boat?
Yeah. Is that your guess? Why don't you just tell us? Yeah.
Why don't you just tell us the answer? You probably know it.
I also love how Harry, he's been looking forward to this, but like the second he gets outside, he's like, man, it's kind of cold. I'm kind of, you know what? I'm bored. I'd like to go back inside now.
Yes.
Yeah. It is that maybe the foreign students were preparing for a dramatic entrance. Fact.
Yes.
Let's see. Where do we go down here? I love Dennis Creevy here down at the bottom. So they start to see the Beauxbaton's carriage arrive in the sky. One of the first years yells out, "It's a dragon!" To which Dennis Creevy, first year, just got there, is enamored by the giant squid, loves all thing magic, and here it sees giant flying thing. Someone says dragon, and his response is, "Don't be stupid, it's a flying house." Dennis.
Wow, Dennis Creevy.
Yeah.
You've got a bit more gumption than your older brother.
I know, yeah. I know, right? And he's not, it's like not, I don't know. To be fair, it's like it's not a dragon. It is giant flying horses.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Why didn't they see that coming? Powder blue, horse-drawn carriage, the size of a large house, soaring toward them, pulled through the air by a dozen winged horses, all palominos, and... Winged.
Winged?
Winged.
Wings are animal today before the sword.
Oh, the winged, okay.
Winged.
Winged
Not-
horses.
Not winged. Oh.
Wonged.
A dozen winged horses, all palominos,
There you go.
each the size of an elephant.
We got it. Yeah, cool.
I don't want to say that this is overkill.
Yeah.
I think there's only a dozen students.
I know, right?
That means it takes one elephant-sized winged horse per student.
Per student. Yes, you're right. That's definitely showing off quite a bit. They come in at tremendous speed, and an almighty crash, so they didn't even nail the landing. Unlike, they're no Neville in gymnastics. I'll tell you what. But nonetheless, the crash makes Neville jump backwards onto a Slytherin fifth year's foot. I don't even know why the fourth year Gryffindors are standing with the fifth year Slytherins, but sure.
It seems like a strange orientation.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that.
Yep, this is where, and they describe it as having fiery red eyes, which, man, I missed that. That's like creepy looking horse.
It's a creepy looking horse, and it's a very creepy looking large horse.
It's a creepy looking large horse, man, and I like really big horses. You know?
There's two people in the front row who have a drinking game that I definitely know involves a really large horse, so...
If you guys don't know, my animagus. Like, you know how, like, in Sirius is always described as being, like, a dog, but, like, a really big dog? So, like, that's me, but, like, horses. You know, like a really big horse.
Like a really big
Like a really, like, imagine a horse, double it. Right, yeah.
I think they got it.
I think they got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, I do think we need to hurry, so we'll jump through the pleasantries of Madame Maxine arriving, who's quite tall.
Quite tall.
Yes, and has a what is described as a handsome face.
Oh, a handsome olive-skinned face.
A handsome olive-skinned face. Yeah. So we got that.
Liquid-looking eyes.
Yes, indeed. I was
Yeah.
trying to skip past all that. Now we've
Okay.
included every bit.
We didn't talk about her sled-sized boots.
Yep, you're right, but
So
now
we
we have.
won't.
Yes. We will not talk about the sled-sized boots.
Nope.
And then about a dozen boys and girls. Oh, okay, maybe a dozen each. So it's one elephant-sized Wong Torse for each of them.
I don't know if that's what it says. It says about a dozen boys and girls. That could mean 24. It could mean 12. That's poor phrasing.
It's poor phrasing. It's taking me back to word problems in math class.
It does.
Yeah.
Grammar problems. Yeah.
Yeah. They were shivering, just like Harry. They were probably just trying to fit in, honestly.
I know, right? Oh, is it cold here? We should not cold. Cool.
Right, yeah. They were staring up at Hogwarts with apprehensive looks on their faces.
Yeah.
Which, that's kind of a bummer.
They're kind of like, this is what we came here for?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I think if all of us looked at Hogwarts, we'd probably get chills.
I know, right? Absolutely. I love how Dumbledore says he's trying to say, oh yeah, Hagrid's not here. Says at the moment he's returned from dealing with a slight situation that has arisen with some of his charges. Which, even Dumbledore is like, what are we doing with the Scroots, buddy?
More importantly, what is Dumbledore doing running the school if he's got, illegal curses being performed on students and...
Illegal breeding being done by this... Yeah. Yes. Other schools of schools of the world, come see how we do it here.
Yes.
Totally fine.
Safest place on Earth.
Safest place on Earth.
Barely any students ever die every single year.
Barely.
We do kind of get a little bit of setup for what will be the relationship between Madame Maxine and Hagrid, where she's talking about how the horses require forceful handling. They are very strong. And
that this is where that says they only drink the single malt whiskey, which to me, I guess they're just drunk all the time.
Yes.
I mean, these are some ship-faced horses.
Oh, that joke is paying tremendous dividends. Let's see here. Do we ever learn? It doesn't matter. Something's up with the Scroots.
Yeah, we don't know. They're just scrooting around, man.
Okay, now is the moment we've all waited for. A muffled rumbling and sucking sound, as though an immense vacuum cleaner were moving along a riverbed. Some disturbance was taking place deep in the center. Great bubbles were forming on the surface. Waves were now washing over the muddy banks. And then out of the very middle of the lake, a whirlpool appeared, as if a giant plug had just been pulled out of the lake's floor.
That's how toilets work. If you open the back and watch when it flush, plug.
Yeah.
And you're right. The ministry thing, this is the same technology.
It's toilet tech.
It's toilet tech.
TM.
Trademark.
And then Harry saw the rigging. It's a mast, he said to Ron and Hermione, which tells us that Harry has grown up studying ships.
I know, right? He knows.
Yes.
Yeah, careful what you say. That sentence could have meant something very different in this particular reading, you know?
That's true. That's a good point.
They're all thinking about, wait, what did he say?
No, I know. I'm hearing it in my head. I'm trying to push past it.
Okay, I'm sure he was too.
How many fans have we lost tonight?
Oh, man. How many? Yeah. All right, and then basically the rest of the chapter is going to do everything it can to make you have negative associations with the Durmstrang students.
Yes.
It is strange as scale to look about it as though it was a resurrected wreck, which I'm sorry, are they pirates? That's what I feel like it's going for. It says all of them, Harry seemed to notice, seem to be built like Crabbe and Goyle, which there you go. Okay, we don't like them.
Right.
Got it.
Although we do come to learn that it's because they're wearing cloaks of some kind of shaggy, matted fur. Which, why does it have to be matted?
I don't know.
That seems solvable.
Yeah. Right. Magic. People never think of it.
We do learn a little bit about Karkaroff, who has a fruity, unctuous voice.
Fruity.
Yes, and a short goatee that did not entirely hide his rather weak chin.
Weak chin, weak character, Ben.
A sentence that definitely made me like kind of check myself. What does that mean?
What are you talking about? Then, it says his teeth were rather yellow. He's like such a dirty guy. His smile did not extend to his eyes, which remained cold and shrewd. So it's just like such a phony, very deceptive. Yeah.
I was trying to do it.
And then he shows immediate favoritism to whoever Victor is. I'm sure he won't be important.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we get the big reveal at the end as Ron and Harry both notice the duck face, or well, not duck face.
Duck face.
Duck.
Poor guy.
They both recognize Crumb. Harry, it's Crumb!
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
what a cliffhanger. Jay, this is normally the part of the chapter where I would ask you if we have a review, but since we have a live audience with us, maybe you guys can let us know, what did you think? How did we do?
I think that's like 5 stars.
I think so.
Yeah, cool, yeah. 10 stars!
Oh.
Wow.
9
9 3/4 stars, okay.
Take it.
But that's out of 9 3/4.
Yes,
so,
yes, of course.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
It's out of, okay,
even
wow.
better. Even
Even
better.
now we're
Okay.
crushing it, all right.
Okay, we'll
Way
do,
above average.
close us out so we can do the business part.
All right, yeah, we got to like end the podcast officially. So thank you guys all for listening to this episode. Make sure you join us next week for Chapter 16, The Goblet of Fire, here on Through the Griffin Door.
Today's episode was edited by Ethan Edghill. Vaishon Brandon does our art. Catherine Stein is our production manager, and the show is hosted by me and Jonathan Carlin.